guys, welcome back to another episode of Cooking Kaysen. You might be saying, Kaysen, why do you have lipstick on and you're wearing jewelry, but you're in a sweatpant dress? Well, if you're the kind of person that's really good at taking a bunch of clues that have zero connection to each other and smushing them all together to come to some kind of conclusion or theory, you might have figured out that today we are doing a Bachelor Viewing Party. Monday night back in Austin was a pretty sacred event because I always got together with my best girlfriends to have a glass of wine, have a few treats, and watch The Bachelor together. And I've really been missing that since I moved to Tennessee. The thing about having food allergies is it really puts a damper on hosting. You can't just run out to the store or the local bakery and get really beautiful tarts or truffles and know that they're safe. So we have to make this stuff on our own, but that's not the kind of thing that I want to come home after work on a Monday night and have to do before 7 o'clock rolls around and all my guests show up for my viewing party. So I'm going to show you how to have these really beautiful, awesome treats for your viewing party, but it's going to be easy. It's not going to take a lot of time out of your day. If you do a little bit of prep work on Sunday, your Monday will really be easy and you'll still be able to throw a beautiful Bachelor viewing party. No episode of The Bachelor is complete without a group date, a one-on-one date, a fantasy suite, all the best episodes have them, and a rose ceremony. So those are the 4 categories of treats that I'm going to have for you today. 3 of your 4 items can be prepped on Sunday. Let's start with the sangria. The sangria is a rosé sangria, which is going to be our rose ceremony item. It's really easy to throw together, and there's only one minor thing you have to do on Monday to serve it. So what I've done is I've sliced up a peach, I've sliced up a pear, I've thrown in some strawberries, a handful of raspberries, and over that I have poured 1 whole bottle of rosé. With sangria, don't go for the expensive stuff. This was a $10 bottle of rosé. It's perfectly good. When you're mixing wine, you don't need the best wine. So this is a French rosé, and it smells delish. Over that, I've poured a 1/2 cup of gin. You could do most clear liquors of your choosing. I like gin. Vodka would also be a good choice. Something that's clear and doesn't have a lot of flavor. This goes really good with fruity flavors, so that's why I chose gin. So a 1/2 cup of gin and an entire bottle of rosé. Then I just covered that sucker up with some saran wrap because I don't want the rosé to change too much and kind of it mixes with the air and there are smells in the fridge and meh. So I covered it with a little bit of saran wrap, stuck that in the fridge, and let it soak overnight. The next thing to prep on Sunday night is your fantasy suite item, chocolate truffles. There are a few things sexier than a chocolate truffle, but do not get discouraged. This is an easy truffle recipe. It's 3 ingredients, 4 if you're feeling fancy. And this is grain-free and dairy-free, and it could be sugar-free if you wanted to get sugar-free chocolate. So super easy recipe to do, and here's how you throw it together on Sunday night. So for my fantasy sweet chocolate truffles, I decided to add a little orange zest for flavor, but you can really add whatever flavor you prefer. You could do a little mint extract, you could do a little coffee extract, just a little vanilla, keep it simple. You could even add like a dash of Kahlua if you were into that kind of thing, or brandy. Brandy truffles will be really delicious. Whatever flavor you decide to add, just drop it into your coconut milk before you heat it up. So I'm going to pour my full fat coconut milk from the can onto the orange zest, and then I'm going to heat this up for just, 30 seconds maybe. You don't want to boil the coconut milk, you just want to get it nice and hot. I'm going to add a dash of vanilla extract just for a little flavor balance. This is where you would add your coffee extract or maybe your mint extract or hazelnut extract. I'm just going to give this a quick stir. And then while it's still hot, I'm going to pour it over my baking chocolate. And as you can see, the chocolate's beginning to melt. I may have to stick this back in the microwave for a few seconds, no more than maybe 10 seconds. I don't want to burn the chocolate. Alright, chocolate is well melted. I had to stick it back in the microwave for about 10 seconds to help myself along, but now I've got it well melted, well incorporated, and it's time to chill the chocolate so that we can roll it into truffles tomorrow. So get yourself a container, dump the chocolate in, and you just want to cover and chill this overnight in the fridge. The last thing that you're going to prep on Sunday is your individual fruit tarts. This is your one-on-one date item because they're little individual tarts that your guests can enjoy all to themselves. And all you have to do on Sunday is prep the little tart portion, which is just pie crust. I have used this pie crust recipe so many times. It's in my pregnancy Pop-Tarts video, it's in my apple pie video. The recipe for the pie crust is really simple. It's a stick of cold diced butter, 1.5 cups of gluten-free flour, a dash of salt, and then ice water until your dough comes together. So I've got my pie crust dough all rolled out, and I'm gonna cut out some shapes and place them in a little cookie pan, in my case a heart pan, because I wanted it to be bachelor themed. And I was gonna use a heart cookie cutter, but my heart cookie cutter, I had one that was way too big and one that was way too small. So we're gonna go with pumpkin. Call me crazy, but the pumpkin stems fit pretty perfectly into the point of the heart. The tricky thing about fruit tarts is your filling can make your pie crust soggy if you don't make your pie crust shell hard enough. So what we're gonna do is an egg wash on the bottom of the tart boats to make sure that they don't get soggy from our lemon mascarpone filling. Before I stick these into our oven, which is preheated to 350 degrees, I'm just going to take a little egg wash. This is just one egg that I've scrambled. And using a brush, I'm just putting a very light layer into each little heart boat. Alright, let's stick these in the oven. They won't take long, maybe 10-12 minutes. So once our little boats came out of the oven, I allowed them to cool, and then what I did was I placed this rack on top of the little sheet, and then I just flipped everything over really quickly to get our boats out very easily, and they came out no problem because they greased the pan before. And if I just flip these over gently, you can see it's a nice little boat in here. I'm just gonna let these cool overnight, cover them very lightly with saran wrap, and then we'll be ready to fill them tomorrow. So the group date item for our bachelor party is what my husband would call a snacktivity. It's a snack, it's an activity, it's something you can do with other people, and it's exactly the kind of thing that you want when your boyfriend's off talking to some girl who has really amazing hair, and you're sitting on a couch with 3 other girls and you're wondering, why am I here? What am I doing? Why did I come on this show to find love? And your world starts kind of caving in around you. Enter snacktivity to save the day. So our snacktivity, our group date snacktivity, is a cheese plate. It's so easy to put together. You just need 3 to 4 different kinds of cheeses, a couple sweet sides, and maybe some meats as well, and of course some gluten-free crackers. It throws together quickly. It's something that everyone can eat and enjoy together. My general rule with cheese plates is to always have a cheddar cheese, because most people like cheddar cheese, and to always have a variety of soft versus hard cheese. So a cheddar cheese is usually hard, so I try to make sure that I have a soft cheese or a goat cheese in there as well, but you really can't go wrong with a cheese plate. Just pick some cheeses that look kind of different from each other, and half the fun is kind of experimenting with the different flavors of cheese. Alright, so for our group date, I have a cheese plate that I'm just finishing setting up. I have 4 different kinds of cheeses, and some are hard, these 2 are soft, these 2 are kind of hard. And again, it doesn't really matter which kind of cheeses that you choose. That's kind of the fun of a cheese plate, is trying out different cheeses, so don't worry about that part too much. What I like to do is just kind of get the cutting started for the guests, and then they'll take it from there. Once you provide your cutting knife, they'll keep cutting as they need to, just as long as you get a few pieces started for them. Now, if you're related to Martha Stewart, you would probably have some cute little toothpicks with labels on each of them, but if you're coming home from work and you can't make time for a trip to the craft store, a cheat that I do is actually cut the label from the cheese package, and I just stick it underneath each cheese block so that if someone wants to know what kind of cheese it is, they can just look under the cheese block to find out. I always save the full label, of course, in case someone needs to check for allergens. Now, what I like to do with a cheese plate, you can add a bunch of different stuff. You can add pickled onions, you can add fruit, but I really like to add a sweet element. So I'm gonna have a bowl of honey, and I'm also going to add a little Bon Maman apricot preserve. So you could do a different kind of jelly, you could do a fig jam, that's really popular, but I wanted to do apricot. So a little bit of honey, a little bit of jam, we have our cheese, and I'm going to finish off with some meat. I have some boar's head hard salami, which has a gluten-free label on the package. And I'm just going to take it as it comes out of the package and lay it right next to the honey. So now we have all our different accoutrements that we can add to our gluten-free cheese board. And of course, I have my Glutino gluten-free crackers on the side ready to serve. So fruit fruit tart normally has a vanilla pastry cream underneath all that beautiful fruit, but a pastry cream can be kind of hard to master, and if you're not familiar with it, it can go south pretty quickly. So you don't want to be messing with that on your weekend, on your Sunday, the day before your party, and you certainly don't want to be worried about it in the time between you get home from work and your guests come over. So we're going to do a lemon mascarpone filling instead, which is really easy, pretty foolproof, quick to make, and it's going to taste absolutely amazing. When you're ready to make the filling for your one-on-one fruit tarts, it's really simple. It's just a cup of mascarpone and a cup of lemon curd, 1 for 1. And you can find both of these at the grocery store pre-packaged. So I'm doing an entire 8-ounce package of mascarpone cheese here. And I'm going to do a cup of lemon curd. And lemon curd already has plenty of sugar in it, which is why I'm not adding anything else to this mixture. Alright, nice fluffy filling here for our tarts, and I think we're ready to assemble our one-on-one dates. Okay, ready to fill our tarts. I've put our fake pastry cream into a big Ziploc bag. I did not close it up at the top, otherwise you might have a air pocket disaster. So just push most of it down towards one little point, and we're going to do a snip here. And there's no right or wrong way to do this, you're just filling your little individual tarts. Now it's time to put the fruit on top. Now you could just kind of like dump them on, but you could also kind of be more methodical about it. Now I wanted to share a bit of a pro tip with you guys. If you've ever walked into a bakery and seen their fruit tarts and wondered how did they get their fruit tarts to look so freaking amazing, take a little of that apricot jam that you put on your cheese board, put it on very low on the stovetop until it gets a little bit melted. Take a brush and just gently brush your fruit with the apricot jam, and it will make the fruit shine and the colors pop. So to finish off our fantasy sweet truffles, we're just going to take our ganache out of the fridge, which is chilled overnight. We're going to have a bowl of cocoa powder or a topping of your choosing. You could do coconut flakes, you could do crushed nuts, crushed hazelnuts would be really nice. And we're just going to take a scoop and scoop out our ganache like that. Pop it into your hand, roll into a nice ball, and then you just want to roll that in cocoa powder and pop it into one of your mini cupcake liners. And just set these aside until you're ready to serve. So to serve our sangria, the first thing you want to do is take our sangria that's been soaking overnight, and I'm going to take out some of this fruit. Make sure we get some in the glasses, just a bit. One thing you could do is just add club soda to the entire pitcher of sangria to taste, but I'm going to actually add it straight into each glass because I know that we're not going to drink this entire pitcher that quickly, so I want to make sure that to maintain the fizz. So instead I'm going to do it per glass. So I'm going to do about a third, and then take our sangria, which should be nice and strong because of the gin, and top it off here. And to finish serving these, I have some sprigs of rosemary that I've just washed off really quickly. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start about halfway up the sprig, hold like this, and actually pull down to take off some of the rosemary leaves. And then I'm going to take these beautiful raspberries and I'm going to stick it onto the rosemary sprig. Looks very lovey-dovey, and just stick that in your sangria. Beautiful, beautiful. I really hope you guys enjoyed my version of a bachelor viewing party. It has always been one of my favorite nights to get together with friends and just to have a laugh and a good treat. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching Cooking Kason, and I will see you guys next time. These are amazing. Please do yourself a favor, make these at home. They're so good. They're really, really good.